As you see, these enclosures look incredible, but unfortunately over the past few years, these enclosures have, well, died off, and these plants have not survived as well as I wanted them to. So today we are going to be giving everything a good refresh, adding all of the plants that you just saw, or most of them, to first of all get them out of here and give me a little bit of space, but also freshen these enclosures up. Yo, what's going on, guys? All right, we are back home. We have the animals.
I've become a plant parent.
With that being said, let's start off with Twizzler's enclosure because it is the oldest, and there are a lot of things I want to do with this enclosure. Now, of course, we have to get rid of this old hardscape before we can redesign it, and this involves taking out all the branches, all of the cork bark, all of the leaves, and all of the plants I have inside of it. Right now, there are only pothos, but we're going to change that in a minute. Your boy was struggling on this enclosure. I could not figure out a way to make this work in the way I wanted it to work, which you'll find out in a second with that lay box there. I wanted to be able to get it in and out easier without having to flip it or rotate it in any way for the safety of the eggs, but also just the ease of checking it every day or every few days. So eventually my camera ended up dying, so you don't see the rest of this footage, but here is the final result. Well, there you have it. There is the finished redesign of this enclosure. We added one plant. Actually, we only added one plant and took out some pothos. But right now, this is what it looks like. One of the biggest things I wanted to add the ability to get this out easily. This is her lay box. But we did, I took everything out to put everything back in. So I added back one pothos, which the roots are tiny, so it's going to take a long time to get up to snuff. But we also have a pothos back here, but it's almost nothing. It's almost purely roots. So hopefully when it pops out and starts growing, I can grow it up and around and down and all of this stuff to really fill in the space. We do have this guy that goes all the way back here, which is a giant leaf. This guy comes over here, and now it's going to start to grow down, and we can go around and all that kind of stuff. But with that being said, let's get her in. All right, well, she is going to find her spot probably right here, or not. Oh, all right, you go do you, brother. I know you're like, what the heck? The whole thing has changed. It has been redesigned. Obviously, I still have her food to put in and that spot, which I need to clean that area because that's where her food is going to go. But right now, she is just going to, don't jump on the plant. That's a brand new plant, please. All right, well, with that being said, she is done, and we are going to get moving on to her. And now this is Marigold's enclosure. I had the same issue with the lay box as Twizzler's enclosure, so we are going to be fixing it in this new hardscape. But like the new enclosures that I've built last summer, this is one of the new enclosures. I have the ability to add plants, and the two pothos that I put in this enclosure originally ended up dying, surprisingly. Apparently I can't even keep pothos alive. But they were replaced with these nice viney plants that I'll talk about in a second, which look really good and hopefully will vine down slower than pothos and won't be as big and annoying in the hardscape. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the new and improved version of Marigold's enclosure. Moved some things around, had to clean some things because she really likes to poop on this nice wide area right here of plant or of a log. We have two new plants up here. Don't know what that one's called. Don't know what that one's called. That one I think is it's a fern of some sort, and it's the only fern I've been able to keep alive besides that one that we just did, and it's still alive, but time will tell if I actually keep it alive. I'm gonna get her new food and water once I do everybody's food and water, but let's get her back in. I'm gonna let you go right here. Now you're gonna try to jump out on me because that's just what you do. So we're gonna move these plants on the interior of the enclosure. And my blue tongue skink has come out. Hi, sweet pea. And we're going to close you up and let you get situated. With having her done, we have to move up here and start on his enclosure. Now with this enclosure, it was significantly easier to build because there were not nearly as many objects to try to fit in between one another. I do have 2 pothos down there in the corner that I do end up removing because those were just basically propagation areas because I didn't have any plants there and I was able to use them as a soil medium where it would stay moist 24/7 and I wouldn't have to worry about them. Now you don't see it in these clips because I forgot to move the camera upwards to face the planters on the wall, but I do end up adding those pothos back into the hardscape, and the viney plant that I used on the lower enclosure, I had a second one, so I placed it in the middle top enclosure. Alright, well there you have it. It doesn't look entirely different because obviously I'm only working with the wood I have, but I did end up taking this wood and flip it completely upside down, so we have big giant root area thing up here for him to climb on. I moved this more out into the center. We have, I don't know, I think this is like a money tree of some sort. We planted that guy fully in the side right here. We planted whatever this is. It's some sort of like viney plant that'll take over ground covery plant. We also have another one of those plants. We have a bromeliad, which I have one more bromeliad, but I want to kind of test my abilities to see if I can actually, you know, take care of a bromeliad because I want to do frog enclosures in the next few years, and those use a lot of bromeliads, so I want to learn how to not kill them because I'm really good at killing plants. With this enclosure done, we are going to move over to the final enclosure that we have. Well, this is the 4th and final enclosure we have to do. As you can see, all of the wood in here is just kind of mismatched wood because unfortunately when I was doing these 3 enclosures last summer, I ran out of wood when I was setting up this enclosure, so this is what we get. But with all of the difference of wood, it made it really easy to mix and match this enclosure and make it a little bit more visually interesting, but also interesting for the animals so it can be running around wherever it wants in a little more productive space. Alright, well there it is. That is the finished, or the last one. This is Tabasco's enclosure. He is one of my males that I actually produce myself. But we obviously ran out of plants here. I didn't mess with the pothos here because it's growing. It's got some yellowing and browning leaves, but it shouldn't be that much of an issue. The cuttings are in here that are from these guys right here. And I did have one root up a while ago, so hopefully it will work the same way and root up here. If not, eventually I will propagate them and plant them in here when they're more established. We got this plant down here, don't know what it's called, and just a rescaped area in general. Well, there it is. There is the finished enclosure design. There's a lizard walking over there. She's going to get her bug. But all of the enclosures are done. I'm super happy at how they came out. We just have to hope and pray I don't kill any of the plants in here. The fern down here is the only one I'm really worried about dying because I suck at keeping ferns alive apparently, except this one, which is such an easy fern to take care of apparently. So, I don't know. But we have all of the enclosures done. They all look really good. Before I end today's video, I want to give a huge shout out to my Patreon members that help me do everything I do here at All Around Reptiles, including reptile engineering, like that thing that you just saw right behind me, and doing cool things like rebuilding and replanting reptile enclosures. But with that being said, that is going to do it for this video of All Around Reptiles. Hope you guys enjoyed, and if you want to see more like this, well, subscribe.